But how can parents envision what's possible or really what their kids need? When we're not therapists, like the things you're saying, they make sense, but what can parents do to really figure out, or should the IEP team come with all of those ideas in their head?
There's definitely not an all-encompassing menu, but there are a number of sites out there that actually have a pretty extensive list of accommodations and different types of accommodations. I know out here for our SELPA in Ventura County, the IEP template actually breaks it down across 6 different types of accommodations, if you will. So it has teacher directions, student response, personal care, setting, organization. And when you go into the IEP, there actually are drop downs that you can ask them to go through, so you can see all the different items that they could potentially put in there, but it's definitely not all exhaustive. And I've actually had IEP teams tell me, oh, well, that's not in the drop down, so we can't add that. And I was literally had to say, well, actually, you can type into it. So be aware of that trick.
Functionally and, legally, you can type that.
But an accommodation, again, it's really just based on, you always at the end of the day know your child best, better than any specialist out there. So yes, it's true that you may not know all the fancy jargon or the terminology, but you know your child. And so if there's ever something you think could potentially help them to access, just throw it out there. Like, hey, what about something like this? And it definitely will, if nothing more, start a discussion as to whether or not it is an accommodation. Maybe it's a modification and maybe that's not what you're wanting, but at least, any ideas you have, just throw them out there. And like I said, there's a number of websites out there if you just type in, sample accommodations, and a number of great books as well.